We had some fun. Let's get back on track here with the options that the Kings may or may not have moving forward before we get to training camp and ultimately preseason and ultimately the 2025-2026 NBA season. So the Kings still have the MLE and an available roster spot if they waive Terrence Davis. Westbrook right now doesn't really seem to have any other offers, at least not that we've heard of. And this would leave the Kings, if they did move on from Terrence Davis and bring in Westbrook, with 9 guards. Nine guards, okay? Dennis Schroeder, Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, DeMar DeRozan, Nick Clifford, who can kind of double a little bit, and same with DeMar DeRozan can double a little bit, and Dougie McBuckets, who can double a little bit as well. Here's my thing on the Westbrook situation. What's one more? If you really like Russell Westbrook, unless you thought first of all, how much time do we think that Devin Carter is going to play now, right? How much time do we think Devin Carter is going to play now? Because if the Kings and the Warriors, let's say they come to an agreement right now, okay? It just comes in and they say, fine, we'll do the no protections, Devin Carter, or no, we'll stick with Devin Carter. No, not Malik, because that's a decent amount of time. Devin, because remember, Matt George a couple weeks ago said the Kings were looking to move off of Malik or Devin Carter before they bring in Russell Westbrook. And of course, I'm paraphrasing here, but Carmichael Dave kind of echoed the same sentiments. So let's say it's Devin, they unprotect the pick, and the Warriors say, screw it. We actually fired up Devin Carter's film and we think it could work. Devin Carter, Dario Saric, and an unprotected pick. Here you go. Here's Jonathan Kuminga. How much time did we think that Devin Carter was going to get? Because that's normally how we do this. Okay, so-and-so's minutes are now going to this new player. I don't know if Devin Carter is getting 10 minutes a game. So who cares if you really want Russell Westbrook, and clearly you're not in a bidding war anywhere. The Kings are just looking at a bunch of guys that nobody else wants. Russell Westbrook, Jonathan Kuminga, that nobody else wants right now.
At the prices.
But if you really want Russell Westbrook, what is the 5 to 10 minutes from Devin Carter? Why should that stop you?
Well, DeMar DeRozan would play less minutes. DeMar DeRozan might not be on the team anymore. It would clear up your 9-guard lineup to make it the 7-guard lineup, which one of those 7 is Dougie McBuckets. So let's call it a 6-guard lineup. I guess you would feel like it at least makes a little bit more sense as the Giants take the lead.
So you're saying but again, I know I talked about the handshake agreement, but we don't know for certain that DeMar would be gone. He might be coming off the bench. I know we had that conversation, but we don't know for certain.
I guess it would open up minutes, but yeah, you're right. In that scenario, they would still have Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, and DeMar DeRozan all coming off the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's still a lot.
Yeah, you don't need Russell Westbrook is pushing one of those out of the rotation, which
is a nightmare to me, to be honest.
Yeah, or Russell Westbrook maybe is going to be in the Chris Paul, which I know Russell Westbrook doesn't want, but it might come down to,
yes,
you got to take the Chris Paul role or you're not going to be on a team.
Even if he takes the Chris Paul role, just go get him then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. If Russ is resigned to, I'm just going to be a capital B backup point guard, then I guess you say, yeah, you resign yourself to, okay, I'll go to Sacramento. This might be the last year of my career, maybe one of the last 2, but I now have to be, mellow on the Blazers. I now have to resign myself to the fact that I am now a 10-minute per game guy on a team that's not really doing much.
And you know what? Easy for me to say, because I'm not Russell Westbrook, but that's kind of there's worse ways to go out, right? You're Russell Westbrook. You play 5 to 10 a game. But dang it, when you check in, everybody gets hype. You get to go 1,000 miles per hour for 10 to 12 minutes a game.
Well, then you turn the ball over twice and everyone boos.
The fans love you. You get a nice dunk every 2 to 3 games, and you just have fun, man. You probably shoot better because it's a shooter's arena, and you're not playing for anything, so there's no pressure. That's a nice way to go out.
You said earlier there are worse ways to go, and I'm not going to lie, Alan. Historically speaking, in the NBA, 10 minutes a game on the Sacramento Kings is literally the worst way to go.
When you're there at Doco and Golden One, you're experiencing it, and then 15 years from now, you're sitting doing trivia at your local bar in Sacramento or your local bar outside of Sacramento, and they say, they list off teams that Russell Westbrook has played for, and you have to pick. They name off teams that he didn't play for, and you don't know the answer.
Oh, he played on the Suns, right?
And your buddy says to you, no, bro, remember he played that 1 year in Sacramento, and you win the trivia. That's how it goes.
You would sell a bunch of jerseys.
He would. They would love him out here.
I don't think they would.
They would.
Based on the text line, I don't think they would.
There are more people that say we need that dog than I don't want West Brick, because I will not say it in case he comes here.
Okay. While we're having fun with this, obviously, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping them from signing Russell Westbrook other than his role on the team. So if they don't land Jonathan Kuminga, the thing that's going to have to bend is Russell Westbrook's role on the team, just by default.
I agree.
In a 9-guard lineup, you literally cannot give Russell Westbrook, you physically cannot give him the role that he's looking for. There's just not enough time. But if he doesn't have any other offers, is he just going to go make isn't he an executive producer on that Bel Air show that they do? Is he just going to go make Bel Air?
Hopefully, because I need season 3.
Is he just going to go make TV show or executive produce? He makes
clothes. He does a lot of clothing stuff too.
Yeah.
He's a stylish guy.
Would he rather just do that and wait for someone to call him maybe in December, or maybe? Well, I don't want to wish this upon them, but maybe OKC has an injury and they're like, Russ, we need you on a 10-day.
I don't think he wants
come
to
home.
Do it like that.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know what he would do if the Sacramento offer came off the table.
To be honest, the Dennis Schroeder thing is still, because we now know how much they like Russell Westbrook. The Dennis Schroeder thing is still a little bit head scratching, unless it's all just overblown, right? And we like Russell Westbrook. We'd like him to be a backup. We don't really have enough. We don't have enough point guards.
We also want to sell a bunch of jerseys.
Yeah,
Westbrook and DeRozan.
It's not going to happen the way that we wanted it to happen. So maybe it's that simple. Because it's just funny that we're still talking about Westbrook when they got Dennis Schroeder, right? That's what it is. And we found out that they weren't interested in Trae Young. Is that why? If they weren't interested in Trae Young, obviously this guy's way cheaper. But if they weren't interested in Trae Young because of his defense, that was a lot of it. Is that why they maybe weren't interested in Tyus Jones? Because that's how I thought they could have approached this. Tyus or Trae Jones and Russell Westbrook, if you're going to do it like that. But especially on a team like this with this roster construction, but adding Russell Westbrook now, it just doesn't make sense.
It's adding Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder and not trading any of the 4 shooting guards, right? Between Levine, Ellis, Monk, DeRozan. Why would you bring all of them back and draft 2 combo guards in Devin Carter? I know Scott Perry didn't draft him, but Devin Carter and Nick Clifford, multiple people are now going to get squeezed. And I would assume Russell Westbrook is the first to squeeze.
Okay. Slick Nick on the chat says, why are we comfortable with Levine and Sabonis and they play no defense? Well, Slick Nick, if you're Scott Perry, you kind of inherited them, right? You don't, and Domantas Sabonis, look, not everybody is going to have to do everything. Domantas Sabonis gets a pass, and Domantas Sabonis' defense is a little bit better than I think advertised. And Zach LaVine was on the team when he took the job, and there's not really a trade market for him. So I don't think it's about being comfortable. Like I said, I don't know how these guys fit into Scott Perry's long-term plan, but he's cleaning his room right now, and he's trying to do one thing at a time. So I don't think he's comfortable with the fact that they don't play defense. There's just nothing else he can do. That's pretty much it. When we return, let's keep the point guard conversation going. If you could pick a perfect point guard in the NBA to pair alongside Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, and Keegan Murray, would you pick Dennis Schroeder? Would you pick Trae Young? There is no salary issues here.